You didn't think I was going to show you the entire video of the garage, did you? Without going through how I actually got it done. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Tariq. Just want to go ahead and do a video on my process of applying an epoxy coating to my garage floor. So let's start with me introducing exactly what I used. I used the Rustoleum rock solid garage kit with flakes. I call it an epoxy, but it's actually not an epoxy. It's called a polycuramine that is placed on the floor. So polycuramine is supposed to be a more durable and harder coating than epoxy. So I used 3 boxes. I know there was 4 in that clip there, but I used actually 3 boxes, which comes with 2 kits per box. So I actually used about 5.5 kits. One of the biggest things about that I learned from a lot of research and using these kits is you want to, it's recommended, for instance, 1 box is recommended for a 2.5 car garage, but it's recommended to double up so that you can get a thicker coat that can cover your floor. What you see me doing here now is wetting the floor, making sure that the concrete is nice and moist and wet, so that when I go into cleaning it, it makes it easier. So I just spray down the entire floor with just regular water from my outside pipe there. Prior to me doing all this, you see I painted the garage. I added some side molding. I added molding baseboards. I'm just trying to get the garage to look more welcoming. So after you wet the floor, I used that degreasing solution that you just saw there, and this is Tanae and I. She's helping me degrease the entire garage floor. So this is very important because any kind of epoxy or polycuramine that you try to add to the floor won't add successfully if the floor isn't totally clean. So first thing you want to do is take the time, get a brush, and degrease the entire floor. So that's what I did, and then after using the degreaser, I came behind it and used a power washer. And what's funny is this home is about 4 months old, so you wouldn't think the floor was that dirty, but once you break out that power washer, you actually see how much dirt and grime is actually in the cement and comes up with the power washer.
I think
right here is what comes in the kit is a scouring mixture. So it gives you directions to use that scouring it's kind of like salt. It looks like salt. You add it to some water, and what that will do is that will score the cement, and it will allow it for the epoxy to adhere to it better. And then I came behind it and used a squeegee to dry it all up. You see, I have a little box fan there to help with the drying process. You can't add this polycuramine rock solid stuff to the floor until the floor is entirely dry. So I gave it 48 full hours to ensure the floor was dry before I did that, before I started to add the rock solid to the floor. So once the floor is dry from me doing all that, you want to take some sort of concrete filler and fill it in any major cracks or any holes. That's very important. If you want your project to look good, you want to take the extra time to fill in any holes, fill in any cracks, or any damaged areas that you have in your garage. You see right here, this was not damaged, but it was an area that didn't have a lot of concrete on it for whatever reason when they poured the garage. So I used a cement filling compound and took my time to fill it in, so it built it out a little bit. So yeah, this is not a project that you want to rush. Yeah, I could have done it in a couple days, but I actually took an entire week from clearing out the garage and prepping the floor to get this job done. So once you're done, you want to take some sandpaper, and all the places that you filled in, you want to take some time and sand that down nice and smooth. So that's what I was doing there. And then you'll have a lot of dust once you finish all your sanding. So I took a leaf blower, or if you have a compressor, and just blew out all the excess dust and dirt and sand. So like I said, it's very important to keep, work with a clean environment. And then this is me laying out all the bags to determine how much of the compound I wanted to cover, to make sure I had an even application. So yeah, this project was a great project, and I just I can't express enough how important it is to take your time and make sure you prep the floor well. This is me today, actually applying the compound, and I had Tanae help me apply the compound. What's big about this compound is that it comes in a bag that has 2 pouches, and what you want to do is you want to make sure that the compound that's in there is shaken up very well. You bust the 2 bags together and you mix it very well for 2 to 3 minutes before you lay it on the floor. And then once you lay it on the floor, you lay it in 4x4 squares approximately, to get an even covering on the floor. And then you can also see where I use the flakes. What's critical about the flakes is that the flakes help hide any imperfections. And the best way to apply the flakes is throwing it all the way up in the air, actually hitting the ceiling, and allow the flakes to fall and land evenly on the floor. If you don't do it that way, you'll find some places where there'll be clumps of flakes. So take your time and just evenly distribute those flakes if you choose to use those flakes. Again, the flakes help with hiding any imperfection or cracks that you may have in your floor. And I really wanted the job to come out well, so I decided to make sure that the coat was a thick coat. So once I got to the end here, the video is actually sped up, but once I got to the end, I took my time to make sure that it was evenly spread across the floor. And this is the last area that I had to cover. Yeah, so thanks for taking the time and watching this video. I really think the project turned out well. I'm glad I took the time to do it. I saved a lot of money doing it by myself, without having to pay someone to come out. A couple things that are critical again is just the preparation time. The preparation time is the most extensive time, but it's critical to ensure that the epoxy adheres to the floor. I recommend whatever the company recommends that you lay on the floor, times that times 2, because it comes out better the thicker you lay it down. That's all I got for you, and I appreciate you taking the time and watching this video.